Hello YouTube. I'm sorry for this voiceover, but I have to do this for the first 6 minutes of this video. This is the review of my Glide Gear slider. So I was out in the park on Thursday, December the 25th, 2014, and as you can see by the scene already, it was very, very windy. But I'm opening up my Glide Gear case here, and if you looked there a second ago, you saw it that the zipper kind of sticks a little bit, and that's where the legs are in there and they stick up. So it's when you get to those points, it's a little bit hard to get out. But here's the Glide Gear that I'm showing to both cameras that I've got shooting, and you can see I've got an inlay of my side video is going to be to my right, to your left. And so here I'm pulling out the legs. There's actually this case is actually kind of built nice in the sense that it has two pockets for each set of legs, and so that those are separate from where the Glide Gear slider itself goes in the bag, so they don't bang against each other and all of that. So it saves you from some dings and some trouble and all that. But anyway, you can see here I'm about to put the legs on the slider, and they only go in one way, and the leg, they sort of flex outwards is the right way to put them on there. And on the bottom of that leg is a little thumb screw, and on that thumb screw you just simply lines right up. If you line it up perfectly, which is pretty easy to do, you can just screw that thumb screw in. And on this side here, I have quite a bit of trouble here. I put it on the wrong side in the first place, you see. Now I can't seem to get the hole lined up, so I've got to lift it up and take a look at it. And then once I do that, then I get the thumb screw right in there. But you saw I did the other side very, very easily. Just for this side, I don't know what happened. But anyway, once those get screwed in, and then you can put it down. And if you look at the top of those, you see they've got little round little rubber balls basically on the top and bottom. You can twist those, and that twists that whole screw. And where the ground is uneven, well, the way you're looking at it, at the top left one there, the front left one I should say, when I put that on the ground, it was quite uneven, so I had to screw that one down. The other ones needed just a little touch, but that was the worst one. But that's the good, real practicality of those things, is you can test that any way that you like, and whatever ground you put it on, you can level it out pretty good with those legs by just twisting and turning them. But now here I've got my head from my old tripod. This is an RC304 from my man Frodo, and I'm just showing that's a quarter, it's a 3/8 to a quarter inch little thumb deal there, or not thumb thing, but you know, a little screw here, to where that will then just screw right onto the Glide Gear. You have the little slider thing there, so I'm just twisting that on. That's what's happening here. So this is just the setup of this thing, and hopefully that this part here has been helpful so far. It's very, very easy to set up. Alright, now here I've had to switch cameras, and I've got my 7D off to the side, GoPro on the other side, and I put my 5D Mark III onto the Glide Gear itself. Now here I'm just testing it just to show how it feels, you know, with all that weight, because that is a pretty heavy camera. The head I've got on there, that thing is also pretty heavy. It adds a lot of weight to that slider, but it handles it very, very well. And of course everything is pretty solid. The one thing here, of course, that I learned while out doing this was the best practice, I think, would be to take off the strap for your camera, because you can see that thing gets quite in the way. But now this view here, this is the view of where I'm shooting the ducks from the slider there. So from the setup you just saw, this is what it actually looks like. Now this is my really first time of ever using this slider, and it was so windy that day. I mean, it was really bad. It was fairly cold, but you can see from my very first real slide without any real practice, I think that went very, very well. I think that looked very, very good. So now here I'm trying to set up and do it again here. But if you something went wrong with my 5D. It was acting up on me. It kept shutting off. I'm not sure of what was going on with it, but something definitely was going on with it. and I didn't care much for that. But you can see I slid it over, and if you look, I've got some video from my GoPro up at the top right of the screen there, showing the same slide there. Now here I've moved over to a picnic table, and I've put it at a pretty good angle there, you can see. And so I'm going down, and again, I did not get any video of what I'm actually shooting from the 5D there, because again, something went wrong and it just flat out didn't record. So I don't know. I mean, when I brought it home here later, and you'll see that this video is where it continues, it got a whole lot better. But right after this section, my audio was working much better. It was so windy and all that it was just killing the microphone, so I needed to do this part just in-house here. So here in just a couple of seconds, you'll start hearing my voice real time. So with that, please enjoy the... I've got my camera set up on the slider here, and the slider is on my Manfrotto tripod, and it actually does go up and down a little bit. It's fairly stable, but there's still a little bit of play in it. But let's go from this tree, and we'll try to slide over as good as we can and try to get these ducks. Okay, so hopefully that worked out well. And if we do it in reverse, we'll go left to right and finish at this tree here. So here we go for that. And well, for some reason, this camera keeps dying. I think my battery life is about shot. But we'll try it one last time. All right, so let's take it over here again from left to right and see what it does. See what it looks like. It's pretty shaky because there's a lot of play in it. Okay, here we are. I had to move locations. I was at the park. I'm now in my own backyard. I don't know if I said it at the very beginning of this or not, but I've been fighting a head cold since Tuesday, and it just really got me down and wore me out. I had to come home and get some medicine and rest a little while. And so I'm going to continue this and try to finish up my review here of the slider on the in the backyard here. So what I've got here is, as you can see over here in front of me to your right a little bit, is a bird feeder. Now I'm going to shoot this bird feeder, but right now I'm completely off of it. I'm going to roll over, and I'm going to shoot it, and we'll see what that looks like with the video. So let's go ahead and start recording, and let me get all this out of the way. All right, so with that, let's just try this and see what we've got. I'm going to try it with my right hand here. It's very super windy today, and so you can see that the bird feeder is swinging wildly, as is everything else. And you can see that this does slope a little bit on this. Now, I think the bird feeder might be out of focus actually a little bit. Yeah, I think that's better. So let's go ahead and we'll give it a shot. Going the other way, of course, it's in frame, and I'm going to be going right to left this time now. So let me see. Now, see, I don't know if that camera's picking up that subtle movement or not, but see, this is coming back up as I go towards the center, so it does bend a little bit on this tripod. And then as I come on through the shot here, and you can see I'm heading towards the left. Again, the camera's probably too far away. I mean, it's not much. It's subtle, but it is going down until right there where the bird feeder is out of shot. And so, I mean, it's not bad, but you can tell that it's that it is doing that a little bit. So anyway, let's go ahead and get set up for our next shot. Okay, now here you can see I've got my camera set up still on the same tripod. You can see now
I've lowered the head here so that I've got me a nice slant here. This thing will slant almost straight up and down. The leg does get in the way a little bit this way, but if I were to turn that head a little bit, I could turn this straight up and down, but right now I don't want to. But you can see I've straightened out my camera, even though it's on a slant. And again, we're going to shoot the same bird feeder there that we were doing a few minutes ago. And yep, it's totally out of shot right now. So now I'm recording. So let's go ahead and take the brake off. Okay, now you can see this whole thing wants to move because this is a lot of weight up here. So I'm going to have to hold this in my hand, and then we'll start it right now. There's the bird feeder. And we just slide right down. And behind it is the bird bath. And that's all the way to the end. So there's that. Hopefully that came out well. Now I'm going to bring this back up here. And in fact, I'll show you. I'll just go ahead and lock this down, just so it doesn't move on me. Now all I got to do is, there's a twist knob right here. I just have to loosen this up, and then I can flip this thing the opposite way and tighten it back up, and then it'll hold it. Then I of course have to straighten up my camera here. Okay, so now you see I moved the camera and everything, and obviously we're still switched around. So again, I'm going to take this down is the direction that I want to go in, and let's get it recording here. We can't see the top of the bird feeder from right there, but let's go down, see how smooth we can make this. It's so windy today. I do wish that the conditions were better for this, but this is going to be the best day we're going to have. So it's now or never. So you can see right there, we're sliding right past the bird feeder. And of course, I've switched hands, so that makes it just a little bit jumpy. So hopefully I'll stop it right there. Hopefully that looks good. And so anyway, point being here is that this thing will definitely give you some angles like we had at the park, if you recall. It'll be far more extreme than this. Here, I'll show you right quick. If I loosen up this right here, you can see how this thing will tilt. I mean, I can change this handle, get it up out of the way. Obviously, I can even take it off if I wanted to and have it totally out of the way. But if you look at that, I mean, that is a straight up and down shot. So if for some reason I wanted a sideways shot, say of going up to down, I could take my camera pretty much like so and loosen this brake, and then of course take, whoa, and I have to be careful about it coming loose there. But once I got everything stabilized, you can see I could take it straight up and down like that. I'm tightening that back down so it doesn't go crazy on us. And so, but you can see on this it's very versatile. But there's one more setup that you should know that I think is even, well, it's better in some ways and it's worse in other ways. But we'll give it a shot and then we'll see. So I'll be right back in. Okay, so here you can see I got two light stands. Now what these are, these of course, well, mainly they're for flashes and lights, but it can also be used for this slider. The best thing is that these are 3/8, and let me see. Let me go ahead and first get this off of here. Let me loosen that up. Now, see if I can show this to the camera here right quick. If you look, hopefully, right there, you can see that there's a 1/4 and a 3/8 hole, where there's also one in the center where I've got this on, and then there's another equal set on the opposite end, of course. So what we can do is we can screw these in to these stands. Here, I'll show you. Hopefully that's in frame. I'm gonna pop this up so I can twist it, and then all I got to do, actually I'll take it back. Those are 1/4 20. But anyway, you just twist this thing until it gets in here nice and tight. And of course, the good thing is it stays well below the rails, and you know, you're not going to get any snags or anything when you're trying to roll past these. All right, so that's that one. Here, I'll move this over. Now, let me lock that down first of all. Okay. Now, this isn't the best way to do this, obviously, especially with it being just me by myself here. But on this one, you can see it's the same thing, that we just twist it. But because we're off kilter here a little bit, it's rougher to do. Obviously, it's much easier to do without the camera and all the weight on there. But for right now, this is it. So what you can do, of course, I can loosen this one here up, and so that we can take the weight down here where it's more in the center, and we can lift it up to wherever we want it. Let's just say right there. I'm going to go ahead and lock that one down. Okay. And then I will test it for, which is not straight right now, but I can get it completely level. So just to show you again, I'm going to turn this whole thing around, and we'll move it up here. I'm going to go ahead and get the tripod out of our way. I'll make up my mind if I want to actually speed that part up, but you get the gist of what just happened. But anyway, so we're right here. Let me turn this on. I'm going to check this thing for a level here, because the good thing about these cameras is I've got one built right in, electronic one. And so, almost there, right there is level. Okay, so we'll do the same thing here. Let's we'll start right here. But here, let me get out of the shot, and you can see the setup here, and you see how level that is, and you can see how obviously in this situation, let me get these around here out of the way. But in this situation, obviously this leg is holding up the weight. There's no bending. As I go down this way, then same thing. So obviously this is going to be your most stable platform that you can get. There's only one problem to it, and that is when you want to get the shots. I mean, you can take this down a little bit, you see, like that, but you can't do it very much. And the same thing with up. So it's not conducive for slanted shots. It's just going to be pretty much straight flat shots. But obviously, if you want to get as high or as low, you know, as far as down here, that you can, the tripod's going to get you lower, and it's pretty stable overall for that. But if you want a completely solid shot, this one right here should do it for us. So I'm going to start down here and turn this thing on. We'll take a look at what we've got in frame. So part of the bird feeder is in frame there, and so I'm just going to go with that. Well, I guess I can move everything down a little bit. Yeah, now there it's totally out of frame. Okay, so now loosen up my brake here, and let's go ahead and just take this thing right on down, and we'll see what this looks like. Okay, so I'm recording, so I'm just going to use this one here, I think, and then just pull nice and even as I can. And let's see, there's our bird feeder, right all the way fully in frame. Okay, and I still got several inches to go. So you see I go all the way to the end, and there we go, that's the end. And so that is that take. I hope that was smooth. It's a little bit high for me, honestly. I should bring it back down because I'm a little bit shorter. So I'll tell you what we'll do. I'm going to go ahead and pop these down, and then we'll stable these up, get them locked down. Okay, so let's go ahead now. Let's try this same shot and see what comes out for this one. All right, so obviously it's in frame right now, so let me just shoot this. Just trying to go at a nice slow speed. Hopefully it's smooth, but again, you can see the windiness, just how bad everything is. Okay, now right there is totally out of frame. So right there I'm going to stop. So you can see now by bringing it down lower that it's right there, and I think it's going to be a lot smoother. So this time I'm going to start from right there. I'm going to go back left to right, and then we'll take a look at that one. And this should be the final shot. So here we go. Going to start sliding to the right. And we're totally got it in. We're going across, and I'm going to go all the way to the edge just to see what this looks like, and hopefully it's nice and smooth. Alright, so there we go. Now remember, this is my very first slider. It's my very first real attempt at using it today at the park, and then here in the backyard to finish this up. Sorry for the cold. I'm sure my voice is a little bit strange as well, but you know, I've needed to get this out. I've had this for a week or more, and I wanted to get this review done. But I mean, from what I can tell, everything, I mean, honestly, so far, what little bit I've used it, I like this slider. It's $149. It's a 47-inch, so you can see it's pretty long. You can buy another shorter one that's a 235. That's a 23.5-inch. So obviously going to be half the size of this thing, and that's what I was afraid of, being too limited in the way that I could slide. So hopefully this has been helpful. I hope you appreciate the video. Hope you give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And I certainly try to respond to any kind of questions that you leave or comments. So please write, and I will definitely respond as quickly as I possibly can. I hope this has been helpful. Take care.